I have spent over 50 hours on Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and for the most part of this game, it is incredible. The gameplay, the story, the combat, but there are a few things that let this game down.
Watch my back, got a kill!
The hell?
Just get down!
Okay then. Let's do this.
I can't hit him!
What the hell?
Cut it out! I don't think I can hit a target moving that fast.
You see what I'm saying, guys? This is ridiculous.
He's just too far!
What is he doing?
I'm never gonna get promoted.
You guys know, as soon as I bought the game, we then streamed it straight away. And upon first impressions of the game, I was amazed by it. It looked incredible. Wow, look at that. This is great, guys. But all of a sudden, as I started getting into the combat, I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? Why is there frame drops? Why does his face look like PS2? Wait, it feels a bit... Guys, I'm not going to lie. It looks a bit... Something's wrong with the graphics. Hey guys, the frames are dropping. His hair looks like PS3. I started playing around with the settings because I thought it might be the motion blur or something like that. Yeah, it didn't make a difference. Mind you, this is a game that got delayed by a month because they wanted to polish the game. What the hell did you polish?
Good thing we delayed this by months. Now the boxes are shiny. Haven't changed anything in the game, but hey, the box is shiny.
This is probably the biggest problem. This is more so AAA studios. Because they know they have built an audience that absolutely love their games, they can afford to release the game even if it's not finished.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, there are a lot of other games that release in a much worse state. You have Battlefield 2042. Even though it's playable now, at launch it was disastrous. And that's from EA. Cyberpunk 2077, probably the most everyone will remember. Batman Arkham Knight, especially on PC. And I hate to say it, but Days Gone on PS5, even though I didn't play it at release, I heard that at launch it was terrible. But obviously when I played Days Gone this year, it runs incredibly well, but that's years later. So this isn't freaking new, but this isn't something we should still accept. It's an absolute joke that this is still going on. Unfortunately, when games release, we are better off waiting a year and the game is probably going to be in its most polished state. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I wouldn't buy all of these games right at launch because I do want to do a review, hence why I would have waited to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Let's take a Plague Tale Requiem for an example. Nearly a year after launch, they have now updated the game so it has a 60 FPS performance mode. You know me guys, I prefer 60 FPS performance. I choose frame rate over fidelity any day. Let's launch it now because we can get the money in and then we can just work on it for the next year, but we need that revenue. And on to something more positive. The one thing amazing about Star Wars Jedi Survivor is that with all the different worlds you get to visit, it feels like an open world game.
Yeah, look at that.
I would probably say it's more of a semi-open world, but then in each world it feels like an open world game, even though the story is linear. But this game... Yeah! Especially in your home world of Kobo, where you have your base known as Pyloon Saloon. For me, this is where I experience most of the frame drops and glitches, and I think because this world is so damn big with so many things to explore and collect, it's gotta be why this world in particular is the world that it has the most problems. Well, in my experience anyway. After the first 2 hours of the game, I did stick it back into performance mode, but it was much more consistent. Or I just got used to the freaking game. I need to clear my mind. Release the game broken. In Kobo, I freaking love this world, and what I loved more than ever was simply exploring, talking to characters, especially at Pyloon Saloon, where you have to investigate rumors from characters that you can complete. It is marked on the map, and then you can go and explore that rumor. From exploring these chambers, which take a lot of creative thinking, from moving these obstacles around and using BD1's abilities to be able to get rid of this matter. I think it's called matter, but you know what I mean. But some of the puzzles were so fun, and some of them were just, well, you know what I did, it's, you know, YouTube, you know the drill. In this open world, there are so many collectibles to find: materials, haircuts, and clothes for Cal and BD1. And when you find a workbench, you can change up your lightsaber, BD1, and I freaking loved this. There are so many options for colors, materials, and you unlock more and more as you find them in the game. And I would just spend time thinking, oh, what color do I want on BD1? And it just makes it fully personal to you. You also find these echo challenges, which they range from some enemies, which I'll get to, or ones that are like an obstacle course, and I do believe you unlock these when you get Cal's full abilities, because you're going to need them. They are so much fun because you have to get across these obstacle courses without making a mistake. And yeah, there is so much more of them to find, and I definitely haven't found all of them, but they are so fun and addictive. When you're on Jedi, you start off in the underground facility, and then when you go into the open world, it is so big and dense. And there is so much to do and explore. You can ride your mounts to get across the world quicker, and you can find different color mounts in Kobo and then drop them off at the stable to save them for later. All these worlds, there is always a reason to go back to later, because you unlock certain abilities and skills from yourself and BD1, which some collectibles will need, especially in Kobo. There are just so many frame rate drops. It became a lot less noticeable. Well, until certain pivotal points in the game where I'm fighting these big bosses and all of a sudden they just disappear.
Oh boy, this is crap. Bruh. What the hell?
That was supposed to happen.
I want my freaking money back.
Forget that, you already paid for the game. Smart money.
Wow, that didn't take me out of the immersion at the most important part. Taking all the performance issues out of this game, even though it's quite a big thing in the game that you're gonna notice, the story is unbefrickin-leavable. And it is one of the best story games that I've played in the last few years, 100%. I loved the first game, and this is set 5 years after Fallen Order. The acting, the dialogue, existing characters and new characters, they just did an amazing job with this game. This is like a movie. Cal has to play in a live action. The comedic banter, the cutscenes.
Weirdo. Hairball.
I love the way it switches from cutscene to gameplay and vice versa. Even though there's a slight drop where it kind of stutters. And as you explore the world and meet different side characters, there is one place which is my favorite, and that is the Pyloon Saloon. This is one of my favorite places in the game, and there is so much to do in here. Every time I come here, you meet different characters that you have told to come here, and you can have so many interesting conversations with all these characters. And as you progress throughout the game, new dialogue will unlock, and as you complete rumors, you can then go back to these characters. I just loved spending time in this bar. The music!
Till next time, pal.
The music is lit, and you can change the music and buy and unlock new tracks. You can even play mini games, which is like battleships but with characters, and again you get rewards from this. And this was so addictive and hard because you have a certain amount of points that then you can choose enemies in the game that you have met, and you essentially go to battle with the other person. Breeze he was very hard, but I got there in the end. There is so much story to tell, and there's one little crab that tells the most interesting stories throughout the world, and that is Scuba.
A true fisher doesn't rely on the sun to do the seeing. A true fisher fishes with the mind. Sink your eyes on this.
You have this big old dirty fish tank in Pyloon Saloon, and as you find him throughout the world, you can speak to him and he will gather fish to put in the tank, and there is 12 to collect. I just loved every time you collect more fish, the fish tank will get cleaner and cleaner, and I think I'm on around like 8 or 9, so I've only got like 3 more to collect. And what else is very cool in this game, now on the roof of Pyloon Saloon you have your garden, and when you meet a certain character in the game, you can then expand your garden and plant seeds that you find throughout the world. That is addictive in itself. You will find so many different seeds and plants, different colors, and you can grow them, and then when they are grown, it's just so cool to see, man. As you progress throughout the game, new conversations will unlock, new side missions, rumors will activate, and you also have bounties to collect, which the whole game, mine wouldn't work. Now, it kept saying, speak to Cage. Is it Cage? I don't even know her name, I'm sorry guys. It kept saying on my menu, speak to her about bounties, and throughout the whole game, I couldn't talk to her. Well, I could, but nothing would kind of activate activate. So I didn't get any bounties throughout the whole game, and I do believe this is a glitch because it just keeps saying that. I spoke to a few people about it and they weren't too satisfied with the ending, and I can understand that, but at the same time, you know that the ending of this game, there is so much more story to tell. So I do believe there's going to be another game eventually. That's why Cal is so freaking good that he needs his own live action. And talking about Cal in combat, oh my god, the combat in this game.
He just comes, mate, he just comes at you. Over here.
You can't play!
The combat in this game is so addictive. There is so much variety with the different stances. It created so much more variety in the game, which it felt, again, much more personal. I love the freaking dual wielding, which when there were so many enemies around me, this was the best for me. Parrying, the blocking, the quick attacks, the animations, madness. And the enemies. Yeah, some of the side enemies in this game were so freaking hard, and some of you guys will know how hard they were because a lot of you on stream saw me trying to defeat
The spawn of Ogdo.
How'd he get me? After all that! Shit!
Yeah, I could not get it on stream because Els would have been pissed if I spent the whole night on that. But I took your guys' advice and dropped these two enemies in this hole, and they literally took off like half of his life before I decided to jump in there and kill this damn big frog. I just about defeated this damn boss, and this felt so satisfying that I managed to do it. Nothing can stop me now.
Come on, come on, come on. I did it!
But until this happened, even though there was two of these damn enemies now, it was actually a tad easier than the one, because maybe because I learned their moves, I learned when to dodge, when to jump. These were so hard, and I put it on the one below hard, so maybe the next time I do a new game plus, I'll put it on very hard. I don't know if I can do that. But this was so addictive. It was so much fun. I love dying and then going again because you know that you're dying because you need to learn how this enemy works. And yeah, I did get some frame rate drops, but again, I got used to it. And throughout the whole game, you will earn ability points that you can then to increase your force, learn new attacks, and this is great because you can choose where you want to spend your skill points the most. And it all depends on your fighting style, your lightsaber, what one you decide to choose, and it's personal to you. You can also attach perks and find new perks throughout the game, and this helped massively because this could increase block damage, increase your attack, other few perks that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it did help, and you can unlock new slots as you go along in the game. You do get more and more, and then you can attach more perks. All depends on what you want to do. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is probably one of my favorite games of 2023 so far. And with the continuation of Fallen Order, I absolutely loved the story to this game. It was gripping. I loved the pacing of it. Even though I was spending so much time exploring, it kept me wanting to know more, and I loved engaging in all the side characters in Pyloon Saloon. I freaking love spending time in there. The combat and the enemies was so freaking good and was such a step up from Fallen Order. It's been a long time since I played that game, but all I know is that there's so much more variety in this one. It can be freaking hard with some of these side enemies, such as those damn frog things. Oh my gosh, they were so hard, but it was so much fun. You could probably beat this game in 20 hours, but I've put over 50 hours and I'm still wanting to visit every world and collect as many collectibles and upgrades as I can. Even though I've completed the game, I'm still not bored of this game. I want to play more until Final Fantasy comes in a few days. With all that positivity from this game, there's only a few 1 or 2 issues with the game, or 3,000 frame drops per second. That's the only problem with this game. The performance.
He's just too far.
and it just lets the game down at times. When one of the bosses disappeared at the most pivotal moment in the game, it just took me out of the experience, and it was just disappointing at times. It ruined the game more so at the start because I was just so shocked by how bad the performance was. And as I went along in the game, it did get better, or I got used to it. Now, it definitely got better because I stuck it back in performance mode. You might notice it early on when you play it because we played it on stream and I was like, screw this. I'm turning this off, guys, and we're playing Dead Island 2. I might just switch to Dead Island 2. But yeah, sorry if you just come and this is not Star Wars. Check the start of the video, you'll get a good hour or so. Once I put that game on, wow, the smoothest 60 FPS you ever see. And that's how a game should be. Even though a game's been in development for 10 years, but there was no excuse, but it still came out absolutely polished. It just freaking pisses me off when these damn companies sell these flipping games that are half-baked and not ready. Even if a game is 30 FPS like a Plague Tale Requiem, it still worked. There was only a couple of issues I had in the game, but I had the best time with that game. Yes, they've updated it now, but it wasn't broken at launch, unlike Star Wars. And it annoys me the most because people are paying their hard-earned money to buy these products that should be freaking ready. If you want the full experience to this game and you want to play it at the most polished and you really want to enjoy it, then I recommend waiting a year. If it wasn't for all these issues, this would be a perfect score easily. And that is why for me, at the moment, this game I would rate it at 8 out of 10. That might seem a bit generous, but I've played over 50 hours in the game and I love it. I do love it. It would be a 10 out of 10 easily. If they didn't have all these issues. What do you think about my review and my thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts, so drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know. Let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video, 16 must-play single-player games on PS5 in 2023. Shout out to DMN, already played Dead Island 2 and eagerly waiting for updates, currently having fun getting beat in Street Fighter 6, highly anticipating Assassin's Creed Mirage, though I have to play Valhalla first. Alone in the Dark looks cool, gotta play the demo. The Metal Gear Solid Remastered Collection is a must have for me. Shame Alan Wake 2 got no physical edition. And I have to say, with my last video, there are so many games this year that I am so looking forward to. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16. I love the demo, that was so good, and I can't wait to play my first Final Fantasy game. And if you are a member of the community, or we have a Discord chat and we have a private members Discord chat, and then with the private members you can also get onto voice chat, and I've been chatting to loads of you on Discord and it's been so much fun. We were talking about Spider-Man the other day and I may have accidentally pre-ordered the collector's edition. They're not taking the money out to October, so it gives me time to pay off my credit card. And I thought, you know what, screw it. We're going to do an unboxing when that comes out and then we'll do a walkthrough. And Els will be fine with it. Yeah, it's only a couple of £100. Cut the video! And all of a sudden, a few minutes later, and mind you, this is a game that got delayed by a month by eBay. Yeah, there are loads of other games that release in such a... Yeah, there are other games that release in much... that they're going to release the game in a perfect shape, in the most perfect condition. No. Is it Pylon Saloon?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? A bit more. Just a bit. What are you doing?
Well, you know I'm not an actress.
I know, but you are going to be an actress. You need to be better.
But they're not good enough.
Or there. And yeah, there's different. And yet, and there. Are we good? Cameras on, you bitch. Because you do get only a small number of them, but then they do get bigger. You do unlock more and more, which you can in it. I have spent over 50 hours on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That was good until you started laughing. Alright, so look at, yeah, you gotta be angry.
Alright,
Alright. I told you making videos is fun.
Woo! Please let